Welcome to HCS Talks. I am your host, Superintendent of Hampton City Schools, Raymond Haynes. This is a Hampton City Schools podcast. HCS Talks is designed to educate, inform, and hopefully entertain our community and beyond. We'll talk a lot about different topics related to education, students, teachers, support staff, parents, programs and initiatives, community partnerships, and more. Some of it will just be informative no matter who you are. So we hope you will stay tuned and keep listening to HCS Talks. Today I have stopped by Kecoughtan High School, the home where everyday greatness is the expectation. And I have the privilege of talking with two of our warrior students, Riley Brooker and Madison Newton. So thank you for joining us today, Riley and Madison. You both have impressive resumes in high school. As Riley, you recently won Best Screenwriter, and Madison, you were recognized as Best Actor at the very first Next Generation Storytellers Film Festival. So before we talk more about the film festival and these accolades, let's start out with each of you telling our listeners a little bit more about yourselves, where you went to school before Kecoughtan, current grade, your academy, likes and interests, ambitions after high school graduations, and anything else you'd like to share. We can start with you, Madison.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. Before I went to Kecoughtan, I was at Kilgore Gifted Center, and I'm currently a junior in the Performing Arts Onstage Academy. Besides acting, I like to sail and spend a lot of my time out on the water. And after high school graduation, I hope to continue my love for acting and do some film academies, hopefully Vancouver Film School in Canada.
Outstanding. So you say you like to sail. Are you part of the sailing club that we have here?
I am, the Youth Sailing Virginia and Sailing with Kecoughtan High School.
Great, great. How about you, Riley?
Well, I also went to Kilgore. A lot of people on the Performing Arts Academy ended up going to that school, which I find is really funny. I went to Kilgore, and then for my first couple years of high school, I was at Bethel in the Mad Academy originally, but then I transitioned over to high school to pursue the Onstage Academy, which I'm really glad I made that switch, not gonna lie. I'm currently a senior, so I'll be a part of the 2024 graduating class. That's not stressful at all. Besides acting, I also enjoy writing. I'm also an illustrator. I like to illustrate all my ideas. It helps me put them on paper better. And as for ambitions after high school, I want to go to college. I have a lot of schools picked out in Virginia at the moment. It's just a matter of actually applying to them.
Right.
I want to go to college for more theater and writing, of course.
So you would prefer to attend college in the state of Virginia. You don't want to go outside the state.
Costs would be up the wazoo.
Yes, and you also have to look for opportunities for scholarships as well. I'm sure there are plenty of opportunities out there for you. You all both mentioned you attended Kilgore Gifted Center prior to coming to Kecoughtan. And I know Kilgore every year puts on a broadcast or a play. Were you all part of the plays over at Kilgore?
I was actually only a couple of them. I was a part of Oklahoma, which was in my third grade. That was a long time ago. And then I did Willy Wonka the next year. And then I didn't really want to do school, so my grades dropped a lot. So then I wasn't allowed to do theater again until my seventh or eighth grade, which was Shrek. But that got cut short because of COVID. Yeah.
So you've had those experiences while you were there. How about you, Madison?
So I didn't really do a lot in elementary school at Kilgore. I did the Nutcracker back in third and fourth grade. Classic. I did do Beauty and the Beast, James and the Giant Peach Jr., and Shrek Jr., which Shrek was, cut short, but those were really fun to be a part of.
Nice. So the transition here was a pretty smooth one, even for you, Riley, coming from the Media and Arts Design Academy at Bethel and then transitioning here. So how was that for you, transitioning?
Well, as for transitioning, it was not as difficult as I thought it would be, because at Bethel, I didn't know a lot of people, but I came to Kecoughtan and suddenly everyone that I knew from middle school was here, so it made high school way easier.
Nice.
I will say there's a much better community here with the academies than I had at Bethel.
Okay.
I mean, not to diminish anything that Bethel has going on, but I expected the Mad Academy to be way different than it was. Being an artist, I wasn't expecting to just be doing graphic design instead of, drawing cartoon characters and animating.
All right. So, and in part of that, it may have been more of an evolution if you had remained there. But it's good to say once you came here, you felt a stronger sense of community, and that's what we want.
Oh, yeah.
To be able to select the right academy that's right for you. So, our 4 high schools debuted short films that our students wrote, directed, and produced. This was held at the American Theater in Phoebus from September 29th through October 1st. At the end of last year and over the summer months, our high school students worked alongside Hollywood actors, producers, directors, and other cast and crew to write, act, and produce high-quality short films as part of Next Generation Storytellers. Next Generation Storytellers is led by screen actors Jacob Young and Trent Garrett. The 4 films that premiered at the Film Fest were Click by Kecoughtan High School, Fear the Fog by Bethel High School, Sand Castles by The Hampton High School, and Truth of Lies by Phoebus High School. The red carpet event included awards for Best Film as well as other categories such as Best Actor. So Riley, you not only won Best Screenwriter, Kecoughtan's short film also won Best Picture. So explain a little bit about Click to us and tell us, where did you get that idea from?
So, Click is a coming-of-age story focusing around a girl trying to process grief after losing her father. To do so, she ends up signing up for the school's drama tech club because her father used to be a set designer. So her idea is, if she can understand what he wanted to do in life, well, then she'd understand herself and her position with the loss. Obviously, it doesn't go her way, and it's just a story of her struggling to come to terms with where she's at in her life and to then grow forward. Click originally wasn't even supposed to be a short film. It was written as a 1-act play for the stage, in replacement of an assignment that I did not do. I was bargaining with my teacher at the time, saying, I don't want to build this set piece. Can I write a play about the set piece instead? And she was like, yeah, sure. And so the original Click is much longer with a much more diverse cast and so many other stories that were part of it. So through the process of trying to write it into a short film, I had to figure out how to divvy it up and put the most important parts in there and take away the parts that may have been my favorite.
It allowed you to synthesize some things, but it also helped to foster even more so your creativity to the point where you actually won Best Screenwriter. So, job well done. You should be very proud of what you've accomplished in this work.
Thank you.
Madison, what was it like being on an actual movie set rather than a stage, and how was it different?
Yeah, so I would say I don't think people realize how different it actually is. When you're working on a movie set, you're kind of going from the beginning to the end to maybe to the middle and kind of working in chunks, rather than when you're on a stage, you go from the beginning to the end. And it's kind of hard to see like where the process is at. And when you're working on behind a camera and stuff like that, you have to use your face a lot more to act. You have to get your emotions through with your eyes, rather than on stage working with your full body and everybody can see everything at one time. But working on camera, you're taking several takes. You have a bunch of people backstage helping you, and it takes maybe 10 minutes to set up one 30-second shot, which was so fascinating to realize.
And when folks watch it, they think it just all flows seamlessly, and they don't realize there are takes. You stop and you start again.
Yep.
So just in your experience thus far as an actor, an actress, which do you prefer, being on stage or being on an actual movie set?
So I've had a lot of time to sit down and really pick at the differences between the two. And I really love working on a set, being in front of a camera. And as much as I love theater and being on stage, I think I definitely prefer a film set.
So this is a question that two of you can sort of give a response to. What was it like working with Hollywood actors, directors, and cinematographers?
So, through the process of creating these films, we had weekly Zooms that would always have a new guest each time.
And being the tryhard that I was at that time and still am, I made sure to sit through every single one of those Zooms. So I got the chance to meet so many people, names that I probably couldn't pull off the top of my head because there was so many of them. But I will say I think the easiest way to put it was a humbling experience because you don't really understand how vast things can be and the different opinions people will give you until you're sitting in a meeting and all of them are like picking things apart and telling you could do this better. You should have never done that to begin with. So it's a humbling experience, but also it's a really good one because it gives you the perspective you wouldn't be able to have on your own as a kid. And I'm really thankful that this program is coming around and becoming an annual thing because I won't have to have that harsh awakening because of the help that I was given for all these great people.
Definitely.
That's an excellent way of describing it, Riley. And it helps you to realize that in this particular field of work, you sort of kind of have to have some thick skin.
You have to be able to compromise, which is not something that comes easy to me.
Madison, how was the experience for you in working with the Hollywood actors and directors and cinematographers?
It was a wonderful experience. Like, genuinely working with Trent and Jacob, being on the set, giving active feedback to me and like the scene we just did. They're like, okay, that was really good, but here's some things we can fix.
They were like dads.
They were.
They were dads.
They were dads.
I've been calling them our film dads.
Yeah. They were so supportive on set and giving us such active feedback that I really was able to go home at the end of the day and look back and be like, that was really good feedback. And I was able to change the way I wanted, like change it to way they wanted it, we wanted it, and still do other scenes over and over again.
And being able to make those necessary adjustments and adaptations, I think it's a life skill for you as well.
Definitely.
And it certainly is an additional feather in our cap that Trent is from our great state of Virginia and Hampton.
Hampton native.
And we claim him and we adopted Jacob as well. So I know you all just went to the Virginia Film Festival in Charlottesville. Talk a little bit about that experience.
So we all got bussed up there by charter buses and were given money all by Hampton City Schools, which I was really grateful for because paying out of pocket for that while trying to prepare to go to the other festivals we have planned. Woo. So I am going to say thank you for that. But
you're welcome.
We went up there by charter bus and we were immediately thrust into this open environment. It was lined with shops all supporting this festival. There was theaters here, there was theaters there, and you could walk around and you could see all these people and you would automatically be like, that's a film person. They definitely did something. And they definitely did that. And these people were so open to talking about it with us, too. Near the end of our trip, we ended up going to this panel about making it in the film industry. And we got to sit down and talk with a few producers and writers for Disney, writers for the stage. And it was incredible. And it was really nice to sit there and listen to them talk, even if it wasn't, an active communication because it was a panel. But they really gave their own perspective on it. And so it was nice to see that these people actually acted like real people. Because, all the interviews you see with them on television and on the ends of DVDs and stuff, it's all edited together so they sound professional and nice. But hearing the raw conversation between them and the moderator was really good for me and a lot of the people that experienced it. Besides that, we got to see another film showing, and that was an incredible documentary.
Yeah.
I believe it was called They Shot the Piano Man.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it was
that, which...
But that relevant real-world experience for you, I'm sure that was pretty powerful for you to experience that firsthand, just based on your interests overall. And I'm glad that Hampton City Schools has had the opportunity to provide these experiences for you.
They were incredibly generous to us.
Definitely. It was a wonderful experience.
So talk a little bit about how it was for you, Madison, your experience.
As soon as we got off the charter bus and we walk up to that strip of like theaters and stuff, I think I looked at the Paramount and had like a tear coming down my eye just because the emotions of how proud of myself and how proud of the school I was that we had made it to the film festival was just so incredible. It's an experience I will never forget.
You should be proud. And you should, it's a great representation for Kecoughtan High School and Hampton City Schools as well. So, is there anything else you'd like to add for the listening audience in terms of what you learned from this?
Well, regardless of the film knowledge and experience and showing and all that, I will say it really taught me
And you
to
should be
connect
proud.
with
And
anyone, no
it's
matter
a
the
great
circumstance.
representation for
We had
Kecoughtan High
people
School and
all
Hampton
together
City
in this
Schools as
bus
well.
that we were just recently competing against.
Yeah.
That we were all sitting in an audience and very quietly like, oh, that part wasn't too good. I think we'll win here. Or, oh, we totally got them there. So we went from butting heads to sitting on this
Coming
bus
together.
and
Yeah.
laughing and having a great time. We
Yes.
ended up at the far back of the hotel doing improv together, annoying the people at the front desk.
So all 4 high schools?
All four
All
high
four.
schools. Like, we all came together and connected, and I genuinely made friends there that I didn't expect to.
Nice. And it's often said we are Hampton City Schools, and we often say we are a school division, meaning one unit, one family,
Yeah.
and not a division of schools. And it sounds like you all modeled that during the time you all were in
improved the
Charlottesville.
course really
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
Being all together, I think I realized I have a lot more in common with these people than I really didn't think so. Because without this, I wouldn't have talked to the people at Bethel or Phoebus because we wouldn't have had the chance to come together like this.
Right.
And now I've made some really nice friends.
That is beautiful. Very impactful as well. So are you all working on anything right now?
I am, definitely. So, like I said, Next Generation Storytellers is going to become an annual thing, and I am
Yes.
currently in the screenwriting portion of it. It's way different than it was last year. To bring more opportunity for people, they've outreached it to where all 4 schools will be working on all 4 films. It won't be individual, and the competition
Nice.
will not be specific either. So all of us are going to get to come together and do that. So I'm currently developing a few scripts to enter into it. I can only pick one, and the one that I've gotten done the most and that everyone seems to love is called
Yes.
X Marked Me.
Oh my goodness, yes.
It's a fantasy sort of film which follows this teenager trying to tell this girl a story to keep her positive spirits up, and the story follows these super cool pirates fighting and duking it out and learning that enemies can become friends and that everything has a happy ending. It's cheesy. It's a kid's film.
No, you seem
But-
very excited about it, but you also said you can only pick one, which means you probably have quite a few in the works.
Yes, so besides X Marked Me, I also have a drama called Let Fuse, and then sort of like a thriller comedy called Unimaginary Friends. I've actually had several of my friends and students from the film festival help me go over them, and I've gotten positive feedback on all of them. It's just a matter of trying to figure out which one I want to go with.
Your passion for this work truly shows in just this conversation with you. How about you, Madison? Anything you're currently working on?
So for right now, I'm doing a lot of school theater, working on the one act we have in the
Heck yeah.
fall play, and I'm currently a part of a community theater working on A Christmas Carol up in Williamsburg.
Nice.
So just kind of doing all that, and I'm also working on getting my book published. I'm a poetry author, so I'm working on making a book full of all my poetry.
Is the book finished? You're just working on getting it published, or where are you
I'm
with it?
almost finished with it.
Girl, you didn't tell me about that.
So
would've
what publisher are
bet
you
you
working with?
So I'm actually working with a few of the teachers here just to get started on the publishing process.
A good idea probably to reach out to Dr. Kate Maxlow. You all probably work with her during
yeah.
this
Me and
time.
Miss Kara,
Oh,
best
yeah.
Yeah,
friends.
so
Love
she can
Dr.
probably
Kate.
point you in the right
Dr.
direction in
Kate's the
terms of
best.
publishing as well. But that's exciting and looking forward to your actually having a published work of art as well.
Why didn't you tell me that?
It's been a secret.
So I guess, Madison, that is sort of kind of one of your hopes for this year, to have that book published? Or
I
what are
think
your
so.
hopes for this year?
This year I've been doing a lot to try to expand my interest and really see what I like out there. Because before this Next Generation Storytellers, I didn't realize how much I loved film. So now my goal is to get myself into more things to figure out what else I love and what else is out there for me.
Excellent. So you want to explore some other possibilities and find some more passions that you may have.
Yes.
How about you, Riley?
I can say that when I came to Kecoughtan, I was telling myself that I was gonna have the high school
Movie experience because I had not had a school experience that was just so overwhelmingly positive that I took everything away from. And within only halfway through a junior year, I definitely accomplished what I would think is a high school movie experience. I've made solid friends. I've grown a lot. I've accomplished things that I never thought I would. For this year, I just want to continue that. I don't necessarily need a big bang or anything,
Right.
but I want to make solid memories that I can carry with me
Yes.
more than I already have.
You
I
mean
love that.
more solid memories. You've made some very good memories thus far,
Yes.
so I can see the sky being the limit for both of you. Is this something that you see yourself exploring further in the future? You sort of kind of mentioned what you wanted to do in college, but how far do you want to take all of this?
Well, I definitely want to continue writing for the screen and for the stage. I hope to get some of my things published. I have different things I've been reading recently, and I've been pressured by a few teachers to try and do that. I also want to continue acting, mainly stage acting. I haven't really tried film yet, but I do hope at this year's, besides writing, I can act in it too. I just want to continue what I'm doing, but professionally, because they talk about loving what you do. I
Yes.
certainly don't want to be working a 9 to 5 at Walmart.
Well, I could see you're accomplishing some great things in this field of work and in this industry as well. What about you, Madison?
When I think about exploring the future, I kind of get a little set back just because I have so many interests and I really love acting. So I think acting is my number one thing I would like to continue on in the future. But I also really enjoy sailing and writing. And so just thinking about all these different opportunities, I'm just hoping to explore them all in my future.
Yes, and then also see what else you may be interested in doing. But one of the things I've learned and work around the 16 academies and 44 pathways that we have is to make certain that you look at the academy you're currently in from the industry perspective, not just from acting or screenwriting. What else can you do in this industry that will further deepen or strengthen your skill sets altogether? Mm-hmm. So, last question: What would you like to say to your fellow classmates?
I have said this in every single interview I've been in. Do not be afraid to hate yourself. And I know that sounds like really extreme, but I went into all of this despising everything I've done. I have a lot of imposter syndrome personally, so I have the tendency to tear myself down and doubt everything I do. But even with all that doubt in my head and all that dark cloud surrounding me, I still did something.
Yes.
And so I don't want anyone to let that doubt and that hate you have for yourself hold you back.
It sort of could serve as a driver.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yes.
And you're allowed to have it, and you're allowed to have to sit there in it and reminisce, because it's important to feel it too, but you just can't let it stop
And
you.
being able to work through it, I think, is powerful. And then just looking at, sometimes we can be our very own worst critics and harder on ourselves than anyone else. But I think if you're able to turn that around and working through some things internally, you're able to produce and do some great things.
Getting the chance to turn around and see everything you've done. Because, you have that dark vision where you can't really recognize the impact of it. But then, I'm on that stage and I'm delivering a final message and I'm thanking people for that award. It was like, that was when it finally clicked that I had done something. It took until I was like, oh, thank you.
You should be very proud. It should not be a dark cloud. It should be a very bright one now. How about you, Madison? What would you like to say to your fellow classmates?
I think a big thing that I focus on in my life and that I wish I want other people to is it's okay to take it in. Like, yeah, this really cool thing happened. Talk about it. Tell your friends about it. You own it. Like, I think I did this thing a lot where I was like, yeah, I did this really cool thing. I'm going to move on and go to the next thing and kind of just leave it in the past. But when I was on that stage and I was in front of all my friends in the audience and I was really able to sit there and look at everyone and be like, I just did that. And that's okay. It's okay to take everything in and realize you accomplished something big and you can take that home and enjoy it.
It's okay to take that in, that you have accomplished something big. It is more than okay to actually be proud of yourself.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think, one of the things you also want to look at doing is looking at how you can lift others up as you come.
Yes. I mean, that's the biggest reason that I write like I do. I don't write just to, only see it on the screen or have it be performed. I write because I want to highlight voices that didn't get a chance to have it yet.
Yes.
Outstanding.
Riley really helped me with that. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I certainly want to thank you, Riley and Madison, for joining me today. I have thoroughly enjoyed talking to you. It has to be one of my favorite podcasts thus far.
Oh.
You all,
You.
Kecoughtan High School, the home where everyday greatness is the
the
expectation. You two truly embody that, and I have thoroughly enjoyed speaking with you this afternoon. And to our listeners, remember, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. As one community, one transformation, we will ensure academic excellence for every child, every day, whatever it takes. We will catch you next week.
Listen to learn more about Hampton City Schools. New episodes of HCS Talks drop on Thursdays. Subscribe and listen to HCS Talks. HCS Talks is a Hampton City Schools production.